Your first short film was in 1994?
Yeah, it was called Note to the Minor Key. And my collaborator on that was Avery Williams. And it was more like a mini feature. It was more like, we were like, because, and I say that because Avery, I love him dearly. He's in Atlanta right now and he's teaching at Morehouse. But he wrote that script and he brought it to me to direct. And I was like, well, we're gonna do this through the school. And we sort of did it through the school, but we sort of didn't do it through the school. We kind of broke all the rules, right? We used the school's equipment, but we ended up, we started the film process there, but then because of some of my earlier work, I had gotten the attention of Disney, Hollywood Pictures, and they had started this discretionary fund program. And so they decided to give us $40,000 to make that movie. And it was a period film set in Harlem, 1947. And we had Keith David in it, we had Harry Lennox in it, both big actors right now. And we were just young kids, just like fresh behind the ears, 21, 22. Not really knowing a whole lot what we're doing, figuring it out as we go, but just keeping it very professional. And that film went on to win a lot of awards and get me a lot of attention. Got both of us a lot of attention.
Wow, and 40,000 in 94.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
So it's 2019 now, and you are just releasing your first feature film?
Yeah. I think the whole old adage about, what's holding you back, it probably stands true. And I think for a lot of years I resisted writing, right? I became a better writer over the years, but when I first started out, I didn't really particularly write as much. And I think that the filmmakers that are really prolific or the ones that are really can get there faster, they generate their own material, right? And they write. So it goes hand in hand. They write and they direct, they write and they direct. So if you don't write, you're either having to find material or work with other writers, right? And so I didn't write for a lot of years. And so when we look at the gap between when I graduated film school and when I came out with my first feature, a lot of it is because I was learning how to write in that period of time. Yeah, I was learning how to write. Mm-hmm.
Were you reading screenplay books?
I was reading screenplay books, but then life happens.
Yeah.
And so I came out here early 2000, high hopes of directing, but it just didn't happen for me right away. It didn't happen. I had to get a job. And so then I started looking at what are my options. And then I'd always done sound in school. I was pretty good at doing sound as a production sound person in school. So then I started doing sound out in LA on commercials and videos. And mm-hmm.
So then what was it that made you want to do a feature film? Like, why were you ready, 2 years ago? Or
yeah. Well, time was getting away from me, and I had figured that was my dream. I didn't want to get away from my dream of being a director. And so I just hankered down and I did whatever it took. That was my mantra. I just decided I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I'm going to confront myself at every corner. And so look at my weaknesses and I'm make my weaknesses into strengths. And so then I just started to write. And then I hooked up with another collaborator, another writer, Stephen Palmer Peterson, and he wrote Skin in the Game. And yeah.
So were you almost emulating Spike Lee, getting up at 6?
I was getting up at 6, literally. It's like, even right now, like the cost, it takes a lot to be a filmmaker. And I think those that make it are it's more determination and persistence versus talent. A lot of times, talent hand in hand. You take that for granted, but you want to be talented at it. But I think it's really about persistence and determination, and how much you're willing to sacrifice. In some cases, because in some cases you may not be eating. You may be eating top ramen, or you may be taking some least attractive jobs because it allows you more time to write, right? And I think when I made that decision, and you're not leaning on other people. In other words, the responsibility for your life and becoming a filmmaker is yours. It doesn't belong to your wives or your partners or your boyfriends or your mothers or your fathers. So it's not about them sponsoring you or giving you a cushion or saying, okay, you know what, you go ahead and write, I'm gonna pay your rent for the next couple of months. So it was about taking complete responsibility for my dream and what I wanted to make happen and what that looked like. And so, yeah, so if it meant working all day and writing all night, then that's what I did.